Okay, everybody, welcome back to Craig's Vault. Today it's lesson 2 of Joseph Campbell's. This is his book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Today's on the Monomyth, lesson 2. It's about separation. Okay, so before the hero crosses into, for us, it's like this training ground of, physical and mental growth. The hero must confront their own internal resistance, okay? Campbell calls this the refusal of the call to adventure, okay? So now we're going to talk about crossing the threshold. So the roadmap, as always, is track, adjust, own. Today in lesson 2, our primary focus is on adjust. So this refusal barrier, it's like, why do we hesitate when a physical or a mental challenge calls to us? So for me, it's rarely physical inability. It's typically social noise inside my head. I let middle school labels from 50 years ago convince me, because I wasn't a very good athlete in high school or middle school, that I can't be building strength and sharpness in my 60s, okay? I need to get rid of that, okay? So a lot of times for me, this refusal of the call, it's because of fear of not looking good or looking foolish or failing in front of others. I got to get rid of that. So again, our basis for this is Joseph Campbell's masterpiece, Hero with 1,000 Faces. It is full of just all kinds of great stuff. I've got mine highlighted in various places. I've got it, there's a lot of diagrams in this book. It's a book that I have to highlight. I have to look up words. It's not the easiest book to read, but it's worth your while, okay? So again, the guardian at the threshold is rarely a monster. It's more this fear of leaving behind comfort and what I think of as public opinion of me. So to move forward, I just need to choose my own purpose over what I think is anybody else's judgment. So again, here's a refresher on the monomyth. First of all, there's the call to adventure. Then there's the going into the adventure, where you have helpers, you have challenges, and then at the end, you bring back a benefit or a boon. So basically, every myth runs through this cycle. So looking at this particular circle, this is a subset of the monomyth. The top half here represents the ordinary world, the ordinary world for us that are pursuing physical health or cognitive improvement. It might be the realm of comfort, passive routine, you might say. Crossing the threshold of adventure means descending into a sacred space that we create where personal adaptation happens. So that sacred training space can be the gym, but it can also be the garden that you work in. It can just be your backyard. It can be the block around your house. If you go out and just walk around the block that you live on, but you're doing it in a mental attitude that, hey, this is like an adventure. I'm going to really see what's going on around me. That can be wonderful. You take the ordinary, the mundane aspects of our world, and you turn it into a sacred training space, okay? So how do we get past this refusal of the call? So crossing this first threshold, it really means just get that public opinion out of your head. Enter this own sacred training space, okay? You're trading again the passive comfort of the ordinary world, the easy stuff, for the personal rewards of intentional training. So the beauty of this is at 55 plus, we hold freedom of time and purpose. I no longer owe anybody an explanation of how I train my mind and body. I'm not accountable to them for that. I do not have to have accountability for somebody else about, hey, I'm going to the gym, okay? I mean, obviously I've got to let my wife know where I'm going to be at and stuff like that. And I don't want to let the gym impede my other social and responsibilities as a grandpa. But I don't need to explain myself to the world at large or the neighbors, okay? So there's this quote, this guy Ambrose Redmoon has it, and he notes that courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. So when I catch myself asking, well, what if I look stupid trying a new movement? Well, I can reframe that and say, what if I become unstoppable? So let's look at a little scorecard on this, where we look at the difference between the hero's journey and just passively aging, okay? So for one thing, I'm not going to let outdated labels from my middle school years or my elementary school years dictate my identity, okay? The hero's journey treats every workout as a private, honorable rite of passage, and I don't need permission, anybody else's permission, just to be a beginner again in this. I don't have to know everything. One of the things I love about the gym, quite frankly, is I can go there and I see a dozen other people working out, and we're in all stages of our own personal fitness journey. So a field manual action that we've got for this lesson is, first of all, write down an excuse or a social anxiety that you're using right now to refuse your own call to adventure, okay? And then retire it. Just write your name down, say, I'm retiring this fear. And then go out and have some training in your sacred training space. Go out and work in the garden. Walk around the block. Go up and down the stairs to your basement or your upstairs 4 or 5 times. Get a little bit of workout in. Do something for your health. And again, I urge you to grab your copy of Joseph Campbell, Hero with 1,000 Faces. It is a wonderful read, okay? It's tough, it's not easy, but it's a great read. And as always, track your progress, okay? You can track your process too, I guess. Adjust based upon what you've done so far, and own the results, okay? You're in charge of this thing, not anybody else. And as always, go to our website, download today's field manual, loaded with about 4 or 5 pages of kind of a recap of the lesson, plus some things you can cut out and put on your refrigerator, put in your gym bag, some lists of things to do. And remember, I believe in you.